This is Anthony Peters with AP Designs. Today we're going to take a look at the analysis of a website and some of the different services we provide in doing such. So if you go to apdesignsonline.com, we also have some DIY tools that you can actually take a look at. For instance, checking your current ranking, some different Google tools, and checking your website speed and making sure that you're not copying content or other people are copying content from you and placing it elsewhere on the internet. So we're going to dive right in. Today we're going to take a look at a friend of mine, actually, Carl Charles. He's in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, and we're going to take a look at his website and see exactly what we need to do to get him to rank better and get down to the first pages of Google, Yahoo, and Bing. His website address, carlcharlesdance.com. Alright, so if we take a look through his website, he's got a decent amount of information, quite a few pages, which actually these are more like bookmarks that take you down into certain parts of a longer page. So using some of the tools, there's a lot of free tools out there on the web. I'm going to check the keyword position. So he's wanting to rank for these keywords such as dance lessons Fort Lauderdale, dance lessons Miami, Florida, ballroom dancing South Florida, etc., etc. So this will take the top 3 search engines, Google, Bing, and Yahoo, and inputting those keywords to show you basically where you're at on the map. Now, just be careful whenever you try to do a straight search, opening up Google and searching for your own website. If you're logged in under Google, Yahoo, or Bing, these websites they have cookies on your computer, which they know what you look for and what your basically your demographic and what you like, and it's going to cater to you. For instance, the other day I wrote an article on search engine optimization, and I was searching for it on my phone just to see what other articles I was contending with, and mine came up first. And I thought, well, that can't be, it's probably because I'm logged in. And sure enough, it was because I was logged in. So this free tool to check your ranking is on my website, located at What's My Current Ranking. So if you go to Resources and Website Design Resources, you'll find that tool here, Keyword Position Tool. Alright, so he's not doing too bad. He's got a number 3 ranking for ballroom dancing South Florida. So if somebody types that in under Bing, he's going to come up in the 3rd position underneath the advertisements and such. Same for Google, wedding dance lessons Fort Lauderdale, Florida, number 19. So that's probably yielding about a page. It's floating between probably right around page 3. Alright, so definitely there's room for improvement here. Let's dig into the details of what he can do to improve. First of all, we're going to take a look at the page loading time. Your load speed of your website is important. You want people to sit there and wait for the website to load. His load time is less than a second. Excellent. That's great. Considering he's got some images on here. He's got some videos which are essentially from YouTube. They're iframes, so it's not really taking up a lot of load time. So that's great, to be commended. Taking a look at some other analysis. Basically, there's 7 broken links. Sometimes broken links, whenever the robots go through and index your website to rank you, they see a lot of issues, such as things like broken links, missing an XML sitemap, and things like that. Not necessarily a good thing. So we want to find those broken links and fix those. Also, adding an XML sitemap basically tells the robots what pages you have on your website, where to find them, how often did they get updated? When was the last time they were updated, etc. It also helps to let them know when they should come back to check for updates. If we don't tell them anything, they're basically just going to go through and figure out whatever they can. We'd like to guide them in the right direction. So looking at some other things. So you got about 12 pages on that website. There's 6 errors, so it's half the pages have errors with links. Only 6% duplicate content. 82% unique content. That's great. That's what we want to see, is unique content. Alright, so average page size, that's good. You obviously want to have enough content on your page for it to be valuable to the user. Over 500 words per page is usually recommended if you're trying to get that page itself to rank somewhere in the search engines, whether it be your home page or your content cornerstone web page. Load time is great. Number of words per page is great. Text to HTML ratio, a little high on there, so that means that the website has got a lot of code. It's kind of heavy, code heavy, we'll call it. Duplicate content, that's great. We're not putting the same thing on multiple pages, or not taking your, for instance, a paragraph of text and putting it on Facebook and Google and Twitter and Manta and all these other places. Internal links. So we want to definitely provide some more internal links on this website, and use the keywords or key phrases as the link text. So you have some external links. We have to be careful with external links. Only have 13. Average for other sites is 10. Sometimes if you have too many external links, they're thinking you're a link farm or a spam link farm, which is no good, and you'll never be found again on search engines. Alright, inbound links per page for your site is 4. So this means we have to build inbound links to this website. So arrows pointing back at your website. That's what backlinks are, and we need those to be valuable. They can't be, again, from spammy websites and link farms and things like that. AP Designs helps build these links by going out, not only putting you in all the local and national directories, whether it be Yellow Pages or Manta, Merchant Circle, Hot Frog. There's hundreds out there. We help put your name and actually unique content onto each one of those, and then link it back to your website. Alright, so let's take a look at some of the coding of the website. There's only one H1 tag found. Now, heading tags are important for SEO. We need to add more H1, 2, 3, and 4 heading tags. If you need to go below, you can add H5 and 6, but I prefer to stay around H4 to maybe H5. After that, you're starting to get into less valuable headings. So your H1, that's the mother of the heading tag. So if you have a keyword of dance lessons, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that should be the H1 tag. Right? H2 tag could be ballroom dance lessons, or something like that. Now we don't want to stuff all the keywords all over the place. We want to use these wisely and to our advantage, and we can help you with that. Right now the only H1 tag that's found is kind text, which I have no idea what actually that is. However, that could be something from either website template or something that's left over from the original designer. So image tags. Whenever you have an image, what kind of tag does it have? An alt tag or a title tag? So we're missing a few alt tags and title tags. For instance, it's a credit card GIF. That's not really a biggie. Other images that are missing, looks like maybe a banner image, and a few other images which may or may not be important. However, it's always nice to have these title attributes with them. And um, we want to try to get keywords in some of those image tags, but not all of them. We don't want to get crazy with it because Google will flag you. Alright, we have some paragraph tags, we have strong tags, which is great, which makes the text bold essentially. Strong replaces the bold tag now. Don't have any unordered lists or order lists. It's not a big deal. Has some emphasized or italics text. And we have some 5B tags, which we want to replace the B tags with strong. That is an HTML code which has been is starting to be retired by the search engines. They will slowly phase the bold tag out. We want to replace those with strong. Same as these I tags. They used to be stand for italics, but now we're using the EM tags. Alright. Google authorship and Google Plus. Google authorship and Google Plus is extremely important for SEO. It's definitely no mystery that Google gives Google Plus an advantage when it comes to content sharing. So if you don't have a Google Plus account, sign up for it. And you can find, I can send you an article on authorship to figure out how you can sign up. So whenever you post a blog, it gets linked back to you as Google Plus. And that way it'll associate your picture with it as well as with your account, which will help for SEO. So the domain name age, 7 years, 6 months, 12 days. Great. Last update to the home page, 2 months, 4 days. I've seen a lot longer, but it's always nice to have fresh content, such as in the form of a blog or a Facebook or a Twitter feed in your footer or your margin. Again, code to text ratio. We want to try to lighten up as far as more text than code. Right now we're a little bit light. There's 145 source code errors in the HTML. It's quite a bit. You know, sometimes a few of them are you know, unavoidable every once in a while, but we want to try to get those down to 10 or 20. 0 would be great. So robot text file is found. We want to make sure we look at that robot text file to make sure that it's not excluding any robots. We want to let them all in. There's no sitemap found. I was talking with Carl earlier. We've gone ahead and add that. That was a pretty easy and quick fix. So that is done already. Also, style attributes and inline CSS. Sometimes when you're editing the website, it can be a lot easier just to add an inline style tag or inline CSS, but we always like to locate this in an external file. And 2 iframe tags. Now I have iframe tag on my website. It hasn't really hurt much, but if you are to get iframe heavy, you might consider either embedding the video, which eats up bandwidth, or going a different route instead of an iframe. Alright, let's take a look at redirects, which are very important, especially when going from one website to another one. If you have an old website, you redesign it, and you launch a new one, if you don't do your redirects, you may end up committing SEO suicide, as we say. So these are returning a lot of 300s, which are multiple choice. If you click on that, it'll essentially show you what the robot's going to see when it tries to make a request to these. So we want to make sure we redirect these all to the correct location. Now let's take a look at content copy or plagiarism. Even if it's you're plagiarizing yourself and somebody's not stealing, We're talking about when you take a paragraph of text from your website and you copy it onto Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. We want to try to rewrite these every time you post it. Sounds like a lot of work, and trust me, it is. But you know, it's going to be worth it in the long run. And if you don't have time to do it yourself, that's what you do. You pay somebody else to take care of it, and that's what we do. We help write the content and check for the content being out here copied all over the internet, which we don't want to have. We can also see if we can't fix something, we can actually disavow a link. So say, hey, this is not associated with us in our website. Please don't associate this website with ours. We can do that as well. So this has a little bit of copied content or plagiarized content. So under the Hustle Dance Book, Local Dance Instructor, and Fort Lauderdale DJ Service, which we're actually creating right now. This has been copied multiple times. It's probably one of those cornerstone paragraphs which help explain exactly what Carl does with his dance lessons. So if we read through, there's really not that much. There's probably something right here would probably appear in the footer of the website, and it appears in multiple places on multiple websites that he owns. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, really, since it doesn't contain a lot of cornerstone keywords and content. I think lastly, for this video, we'll take a look at some other things which to reinforce in very general and layman terms what you should do with the website. So reduce or optimize your meta keywords. If we go back and take a look at some of the keywords here and some of the title tags. So title tag right now for the website is Ballroom Dance Instruction by Carl Charles in Broward, South Florida. This actually should read something more along the lines of what your keywords are. So wedding dance lessons, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, or whatever your bread and butter is, what you want to be found for, right? And that's really what you should optimize your title tag for, right? And each page should be different. You should not copy the title tags onto every single page. You want those to be different. So the home page might be about your main content, and then if you have something that's similar, or if it's the same, just rename it something else and focus on that keyword, right? So we have Ballroom Dancing South Florida. Maybe we have a page that's dedicated to that. Dance Lessons Miami, Florida. Maybe a page for that, right? We don't want to try to compete on our own website for the same keyword. We have to make sure that we're not super saturating, the page or the entire website with multiple keywords, and then the search engines have no idea. They say, well, I know that they're trying to rank for one of these things, but we're not sure exactly which one, so we're going to downgrade them all, right? We want to avoid that. Make a better meta description, right? So the meta description right now is shown here. Carl Charles offers his unique style of DJ with magic show, dance performance, dance lessons. Carl Charles Entertainment offered DJ services, etc., etc. You see how kind of convoluted this is, and you think, okay, well, so he offers DJ, magic show, dance performance, dance lessons. Okay, here's DJ services again, magician, dance lesson instruction, motivating the crowd. So we need to actually cater to what the main content or what the main keyword or key phrase is, right? Going to go back to what do we want to be found for on this website? Well, it's for dance lessons. Okay, well, maybe dance lessons Fort Lauderdale, Florida, or dance lessons Miami, Florida. We want to go back to that. All right. And again, we talked about making sure that the website has at least 500 words per page if you want that page to be in the running for a good ranking. Again, we talked about optimizing H1 and H2 headers. Um, Again, image alt tags, clean up the HTML code and your text to code ratio, improve your internal linking. This one says delete frame and iframe tags. However, we don't have a ton, we have 2. Add a proper site map XML file, which we've done. And then these last 2 have to do with social media. Link up your social media to the website, make it clickable, front and center, so you can get to it, post things back and forth, make them talk, make them dance together, social media and your website, because search engines are putting a lot more weight into social media. So, and it takes time. Sometimes you might even need a social media manager if you're busy and you don't have time to do it. Whether you hire your son, your daughter, college student, friend down the street, or professional service, make sure that they're posting things using keywords and posting good content. So I hope that you made it all the way through this video. It was a long one. However, lots of valuable information, especially for someone who's either a novice or intermediate. And if you're watching this and you want to learn more, you can go to my website, apdesignsonline.com, and you can either call me or email me, and I'm usually the one that always picks up the phone, and I will help you out with a website analysis, and we'll get you ranking on the front page. I also have some links on there which show you my different customers and their current live rankings, showing them that what I do actually works. So my name's Anthony Peters. Inquiry at apdesignsonline.com. Thank you all for watching.